I came to play, there's a price to pay. Time for you to get down on your knees and pray. You can say goodbye to the good old days. They're never coming back, watch your future fade. I came to play, to get my dues paid. I guess you had a dream, but it can't be saved. I came to play. There's a price to pay. Time for you to get down on your knees and pray. You can say goodbye to the good old days. They're never coming back, watch your future fade. I came to play, to get my dues paid. I guess you had a dream, but it can't be saved. I came to play. I'm here to stay. Let's get out of my way. I came to play. Run away if you see me. Don't even say my name. Don't think that you can know me. Don't try and play that game. Every day that I get better.
Hey guys, welcome to Pittsburgh Sports Weekly Chat, brought to you in part by Pittsburgh Sports Fanatics. You can check us out at www.pittsburghsportsfanatics.com. Tweet us at PG8SportsFans. Before we get into the train wreck that was the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns, we want to start this week on a positive tip. Pittsburgh Penguins, Jim Rutherford, Mike Johnson's era has officially started when the Penguins defeated the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, which I might add is a Stanley Cup favorite for this year. They defeated them, 4-6. And I'll tell you this. I know it's early in the season, it's only a couple games in, but the Penguins look like a total different team from last year. This is the first time in 2 games where I wasn't screaming at my TV, shoot the puck. The Penguins are crashing the net. They're attacking. They're not looking for the highlight goal. They're just playing fundamental hockey, which I knew that they were capable of. This team looks to be very dangerous offensively. And the Ducks game, Malkin wasn't even playing at his best because he missed training camp. And, of course, all the naysayers and all the negative Nancys were like, Malkin needs to be traded. I don't see him with the Penguins at the end of the year. It's 1 game in. He has not learned the system. He has not went through training camp. Give this kid some time. You do not trade one of the best players in the National Hockey League just because he did not perform the very first game of the NHL season. That's asinine. But back to the Pens. The new acquisitions of Hornquist, beautiful. Crosby may have found his winger at last. He wasted no time whatsoever getting into the lineup, getting on the score sheet. Hornquist. Both games started just the same. Hornquist scored, then Crosby scored. It's a thing of beauty. Hornquist is a player to watch out for. All the naysayers were like, oh, I can't believe we traded James Neal. James Neal. Let me tell you something about James Neal. When we traded for James Neal, it took him quite a while to gel with this team. He did not score right off the bat. I believe his first and only goal was a shootout goal, which doesn't even count in the NHL as a stat. But Hornquist just came right into the system right away. He's like, you know what? This is way better than Nashville. I'm going to have fun. And that's what he's doing. Watch out for number 72. Now, Malkin's having a little bit hard time adjusting to the wing side of the game. You got Sutter and Dupuis. Dupuis had a hell of a game. Super duper. He had 4 points his first game back from his injury. Great to see him back on the ice. Great to see him produce like he did. Against the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Penguins just completely dominated that team. That team didn't know what hit them. The next game is this Thursday against Dallas. The Dallas Stars at the Consol. Let's see if they continue their ways. But I'll tell you what, right now, the Penguins look tough. They're gritty. I didn't see any cheap shots on Crosby as of yet. So, fingers crossed. This might be the Pens' year. Now, unfortunately, it's time to dive into the train wreck that I like to call the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. What we saw last Sunday, was the complete implosion of a Steelers team that is in disarray. They don't know what they're doing. They're old. They're slow. They have no skilled players at any secondary position. Troy is not the player he once was, and that's understandable. The man played 11 seasons. The NFL experts that they get paid all these millions of dollars when he first got drafted said he probably got 8 years max because of all his concussion issues at USC. The man's on his 11th year. Bottom line is he's still the best defender that we have on the field. But it would not shock me to see him walk away from the game after this season. Mike Mitchell, I don't know where all his stats came from last year in Carolina, but he's not living up to hype. He looks terrible. Ryan Clark would have been better, probably cheaper. I said it for the past 4 years. The defensive line and the defensive secondary needs an upgrade. But everybody says, oh, you're crazy. They're fine. They're fine. The Steelers know what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? They never replaced Casey Hampton. They never replaced Aaron Smith. Hell, they didn't even replace Chris Hoke. And then I got into an argument with this ass clown. He was like, well, you know, the Steelers are a better 4-3 defense than they are a 3-4. How are we a better 4-3 defense? We don't even have 2 solid defensive linemen, let alone 4. You know? In case they don't know what the 4-3 is, it's a 4 lineman front with 3 linebackers. Our linebackers are too small to play on the defensive line. They can't even get to the quarterback now. Everybody's like, and another thing people are pointing at, oh, the defense is, the defense is terrible. The stats don't lie. They have no secondary. They can't cover a fly. You know, it's a damn shame what happened to this team, but this falls to the responsibility of Kevin Colbert. He did not draft for need. He drafted best player available. Ryan Shazier will probably be a hell of a linebacker when it's all said and done. No doubt about it. The guy got talent. He got speed. You know, but we didn't need a linebacker. We needed a defensive lineman. We needed a defensive tackle. We needed a cornerback. You know, there's like a white flag waving in the secondary of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We surrender. We surrender. You know, they can't cover nobody. And then when they do, they get flagged. And it's not bad flags. They get flagged because they're holding, they're tugging, they're trying to do anything they can to prevent that receiver from breaking one. You know, what really ticks me off is, everybody's like, oh, well, they got the 4th ranked offense in the NFL, blah, 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 blah. Haley's doing a great job. Haley sucks. Okay? Haley completely Haley destroyed our offensive rhythm as soon as he came here. He's 19-19 as the Steelers OC. Okay? He destroyed the Chiefs. And the only success he ever had was with Arizona with Ken Wisenhunt, an offensive genius as a head coach. Tomlin is a defensive coach. You know, it doesn't matter. Kevin Colbert, Todd Haley, Dick LeBeau all needs replaced next season. And we need personnel to come in and do it. Bill Cowher said it the best. He said, I never thought I'd hear myself say these words, but the Pittsburgh Steelers have gotten soft. And we are. We're as soft as Kleenexes, as Cottonelle toilet tissue. We suck. We really do. The team, you know, I love my team, and I will always love the Steelers. But the bottom line is, there's just too many holes to fill for this team to be successful anytime soon. There is no cap space. Too much need on the cornerback front, unless the Steelers go out and do something that they hardly ever do. And if they go out, if they create cap space, and they can finally get a solid cornerback that is young enough to stay for a few years, and then draft a couple more and groom them, then we'll be good. You can't do anything if you can't cover the receivers. I said last week, I said, I think the Steelers will win against the Browns. I did say that. But I did say, if the Browns come out with that high-powered, hurry-up offense, we're in trouble. And boy, were we ever in trouble. We couldn't cover that no-huddle offense for the life of us. The closest player to get a sack was James Harrison. He's like 40 years old. I'm playing. He's not 40 years old, but he's old. Troy Polamalu was out of position on almost every defensive play. Ben Roethlisberger came this close of blaming Todd Haley, and it was beautiful, but he caught himself. They asked him, they said, when you're in the red zone, don't you call your own plays? And he's like, no, I don't call my own plays in the red zone. Haley does. And then he turned around and said, but I respect and I agree with my coach's decisions. And everybody's like, oh, well, Ben can always just call his own plays and screw the coaches. No, he can't. Ben can get fined, suspended, benched, or all three. You know, he wants to be a good teammate. He is a good teammate. He won't throw anybody under the bus. He took the blame for the drop passes. He's like, oh, maybe if I would have thrown the ball better, it could have been different. Marcus Wheaton, Justin Brown, Lance Moore had a horrendous game. Lance Moore had that ball right in between the numbers. It would have been a first down, and he dropped it. Marcus Wheaton had the ball in his numbers almost every time, and he dropped it. Everybody was dropping passes. When you become one-dimensional and you only have Antonio Brown, sooner or later the defenses are just going to stack up on Brown and say, hey, beat us with your other guys. And we can't. Our running game is good. I like our running game. I don't like running the ball 17 times to 5 passes in like the first quarter, but hey, I'm not the coaches. But yeah, this better be a reality check for the Steelers. They got Houston coming up on Monday night. They better have a short memory, and they better get to work. It's time for Tomlin. I'm so tired of Tomlin taking these teams so lightly. It's time to show respect to every NFL team that you play against. Stop not being prepared. This is embarrassing. You lost to the Raiders twice, the Browns multiple times, the Vikings, the Bears. When does it end with this coach? Why can't you get your team ready to play? It looked like they were drunk on the field. We march all the way down the field. We can't score a damn point. Then one muffed field goal and the whole momentum changed. You could not get the momentum back from that muffed field goal. Makes no sense whatsoever. And what really ticked me off was Brian Hoyer, that a-hole from the Browns, was like, well, I was getting bored. We was laughing at them. Let me tell you something. No team would have ever laughed at a coward-coached team. For one, the players would have been terrified to face Cowher if he's seen an opposing team laughing at them. Tomlin needs to stop holding hands and start getting tough. You know, if you're not man enough to discipline your players and get them ready, then get the hell out of town. We don't need you. You know, we need a coach, not a friend. And I can't wait to hear his stupid, I almost swore, I'm sorry. But I can't wait to hear his stupid speech. Oh, we're going to unleash hell. Oh, we bit the big one. We have to swallow this. We'll get prepared for next week. We're going to do better, blah, blah, blah. It starts with me. Well, you know what? It started with you since week 1. It's time for action on the field. Yes, you lost against Tampa Bay. You struggled against the worst team in the NFL, the Jags. You couldn't score on the worst secondary in the NFL. My fault. That's us now. It was the Jaguars, but now it's us. And you couldn't score against the Browns. When does it stop? When does the bleeding stop? When does the heal process begin? The bleeding is Todd Haley on the offensive side of the ball. I said it numerous times. If it takes a quarterback to move the offense and call better plays from the guy's own playbook than he can call, it's time for him to go. You know, he completely disrupted our offense since he got here. Ben didn't want him. The fans didn't want him. For some reason, the Steelers wanted him. He may be a Pittsburgh guy, but he sure in hell is not a football guy. The Kansas City Chiefs players said it themselves. How can we respect and want to go out to play for a guy that never even played the game? You know, these players on the Steelers, they've been playing football their whole lives. And now they got to listen to some ass clown that never even laced up a pair of cleats. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. The Steelers better get their act together, and they need to get it done quick. Because I'm going to tell you what right now. Reading in between the lines of Ben Roethlisberger's interviews, he's getting fed up, and he's getting tired. And his contract's coming up. And everybody's like, oh, well, maybe they should release him. Maybe they shouldn't, because we have no other quarterback. Okay, because when Ben gets fed up and he gets tired, when that contract comes up, he's going to right to Arizona with Arians, and they're going to win a Super Bowl. And we're going to be there holding our hands going, oh, please, please draft a quarterback. Maybe we'll draft Winston. That is not going to be worth a damn in the NFL. Maybe we'll draft the next Ben Roethlisberger. No, you know how long it took Bill Cowher to draft Ben Roethlisberger? He won with quarterbacks like Bobby Brister, Neil O'Donnell, Cordell Stewart, Tommy Maddox from the XFL that was picked off the street. And then finally he gets a franchise quarterback and the whole team just clicks. Okay, Ben has maybe about 3 good years left in him. Use those years wisely. Get rid of Todd Haley. Get an offensive coordinator in there that understands Ben, that understands how to move the ball, and understands how to score a damn touchdown when you're at the 20-yard line. What the hell are you doing running it 3 straight times at the 10-yard line? If you run it once and you get stuffed, you run it twice, you get stuffed. At least throw the damn ball the 3rd time. Jeez. 31-10 to the Browns. Are you kidding me? 31-10 to a team that hasn't won a major championship in 50-plus years? The only thing Cleveland's known for is setting a river on fire? Are you kidding me? And now they're acting like they won the Super Bowl, they won the division. What did they win? They won nothing. They won a regular season NFL game against a team that is in disarray, that is in transition stage, that struggled against the Jaguars and lost against the Buccaneers. This is not a signature win. This is a mediocre team beating a bad Steelers team. That's it. You didn't win a Super Bowl. You didn't win a division. All you won was a game. So laugh it up, giggle, ha ha ha. Because if you take this game to your head, you're going to see how fast you lose the Jaguars, which is the worst team in the NFL. The Browns aren't going anywhere this year. I guarantee it. I don't care what their record is. They're not going to beat the Bengals. They're not going to beat the Ravens. The Patriots will wipe the floor with them. The Colts will destroy them. Denver would make them look like ass clowns that they really are. It's time for the blame to be pointed where it needs to be pointed. You know, I do not like Todd Haley. I already said that from the day he got hired. I said, Steeler fans wanted Arians gone. Well, guess what? You got your wish. Be careful what you wish for because now you're stuck with Haley. Okay, that's 1. 2, Kevin Colbert. I'm tired of nobody saying this guy's name. This guy sucks as a general manager. He never drafted for need. He drafted best player available according to the boards, which we know that the scouts don't know what the hell they're talking about because half the stars in the NFL came from the later rounds that were not supposed to amount to a damn. Time to draft for need. If you look at your roster and you have a quarterback that is going on his 13th NFL season, and you have 15,000 linebackers on your depth chart, do not draft a linebacker. Draft a goddamn quarterback. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that you need help in the secondary. You don't need help in the linebacker field. You need help on your defensive line and your cornerbacks. I know the Steelers are not known for taking quarterbacks high in the draft, but it's time to change. It's time to change. We probably got the number 1 rushing duo in the NFL. But we can't score, so it doesn't matter. We have one of the best receivers in the NFL, AB. We can't score, doesn't matter. One of the top tight ends, Heath Miller, can't score, doesn't matter. The Steelers are just a train wreck. I don't know what's going to happen this year, but I guarantee you, if they finish the year 6-10, you know, we'll put it like this. If other teams come out and they play that hurry-up offense, they're not even going to finish 6-10. They're not going to win another game. Okay? But I don't know what's going to happen. We got Houston coming up Monday. That's on ESPN, and Tomlin just sucks on the national stage. I don't think Tomlin should be fired, but I don't think it would hurt if the Rooney sat him down and had a nice conversation with him and saying, hey, look, we're going to do a job evaluation of you the past 3 years. You know, that might light a fire under his ass. Maybe if he thought that his ass was on the hot seat, maybe he would get this team ready. Instead, the Steelers are worried about players switching jerseys with other players. Kiss my ass about jerseys switching jerseys. Worry about your play on the field. I don't care if you signed $1 million contract with this stupid ass company that wants to buy game used merchandise so they can sell it for a profit. Worry about your players on the field. Instead of saying, oh, important memo, you're not allowed to trade your game worn jersey. How about important memo, play the damn game. And if you lose again like that, you're not going to the locker room to take showers. You're not going to go put your little $5,000 suits on. You're going to go on the field and you're going to run laps until your legs fall off. It's time to get nasty and gritty with this team. Hines Ward said, I don't even know who this team is anymore. And I agree with him. I've been saying that since day one. Since Haley came aboard, the Steelers have no identity whatsoever. We're not a smash mouth team. We're not a throwing team. We're a nothing team. We are a soft cupcake not even in your face, just a soft cupcake. Let everybody walk on us, doormat of the NFL since Haley got here. It's embarrassing. Cordell Stewart even said, and I hate Cordell Stewart, he said, I don't even know if that's the Steelers. You know, another Steeler said, Joey Porter, we got our asses kicked. We're embarrassed. It hurts. It stings. We got to get better quick, or it's going to be a long season. The only person that didn't chime in was the bus, and we're waiting for the bus to say what he has to say. Rocky Blyer points it at the players, but at the end of Rocky's video, he said, maybe you should look at the top, meaning Kevin. Kevin needs to go. Worst general manager of football. That's it for Pittsburgh Sports Weekly from Pittsburgh Sports Fanatics. Check us out at www.pittsburghsportsfanatics.com. Like us on Facebook at Pittsburgh Sports Fanatics. I'm Sean. I'm out. Nice talking to you. We'll see you next week. Hopefully with good news about the Steelers defeating the Houston Texans. I'm out.